you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. We welcome you to today's show and ask those of you who have not subscribed to please subscribe to our YouTube channel as we continue to expose the satanic Illuminati agenda and the ushering in of the Antichrist. Today's show, I'm going to talk more about more news that's coming out about the microchip. The U.S. Navy is planning to implant people with microchips as officials are consulting with quote-unquote presidential candidate Zoltan Istvan. Okay, who is a guy who is all about promoting, transhumanism. He's all about promoting the microchip. He's accepted the microchip himself, as you can see in some of these photos. And the military is actually going to, it sounds like they are, teasing this idea of having our armed forces implanted with this microchip, which is extremely dangerous, especially starting there, but it's not surprising. Now you'll have these, our military. If they force all of them to take the microchip, okay, if they make that a policy that if whether it's the Navy, the Army, the Marines to take the microchip, it certainly is something frightening considering martial law, which is to come. Because as most of you know, the microchip won't just be a means of buying goods. It won't just be, for electronic banking and tracking and all those things that are, linked to it. It also will be able to control and manipulate your DNA and things like that. They will have total control of people in a sense. If they get microchipped, they'll be able to do all sorts of things to them by having this inside of their body, which is certainly frightening considering martial law is upon us. And if, a lot of people out there have been talking about martial law saying, well, the military wouldn't go along with that. Well, if these people are microchipped, they easily can be deceived through this technology, through having this computer technology inside of them, and who knows what else they can manipulate as far as thought process. It's very, very scary to think of that, what is to come. But this just came out yesterday talking about how the Navy is looking into it. And if you read some of the quotes here, this guy who is just fully promoting transhumanism, Zoltan Istvan, he likes to, he talks all about the merger of humans and machines. He goes on to say the Navy is struggling to create policy around soldier or sailors that enter military service with non-authorized chips embedded in them. It makes perfect sense since the tech has grown so small that chip implants can now do a wide range of things, tracking, making payments, monitoring blood flow, and bodily health, and be totally hidden inside of human beings. You can imagine how challenging that would be if someone had a non-authorized chip implant on a nuclear base. So policy has to be created and created soon. So they're talking already about creating this policy to get Navy personnel microchipped. Of course, at first they'll say it along the lines of, well, it's a choice, but it'll soon be forced upon all of these military men. They'll tell them how it's great to monitor their health, how it'll be easy to track them in case a soldier goes and gets lost in war or in combat. They'll say, well, the microchip will be able to find you. Everybody will fall for it and go along with it. This is going to get extremely out of hand and extremely dangerous really, really fast. Now I want to read from the book of Revelation 13, 16 through 17. Most of you already know this verse, but I want to talk about it because it's still important to remember and see what they're doing here. So Revelation 13, 16 through 17, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name, which is 666. Now, if you'll notice, if you watch a lot of these videos on the people who are actually accepting the microchip, and this has to be going on for reasons, obvious reasons. Number one, that they're testing this out because they want to see how people react, because they know that there are people like me and people who listen to this channel who are very aware of what's going on, who are awake, and they don't want to wake up people who are sound asleep out there, with this microchip, and then people going up to them saying, listen, Revelation, they talk about how you can't buy or sell without accepting this chip or accepting this mark, okay? And, they know that people might become awake by hearing this or having people like me point it out. So what I'm seeing is a lot of these people are actually getting the microchip implanted in their left hand, okay, and in their left side, not their right. So that's something to keep an eye out for, because people might fall for it at first, because they might start, having people get the microchip, showing it go in their left hand and not their right hand. And people say, well, the Bible says right hand, they're getting it in their left, so it can't be the same thing. And then as people get conditioned to think that it's okay and it's safe, and they see other people have it, and they see celebrities pump it, because that's what they'll do next. They'll have the Kardashians, they'll have all these, Kanye West, all these people will push the microchip and how cool it is. They'll show them on reality shows going to the store and not having to have a wallet, and they'll make it look so cool and sexy, and people just completely fall for it. But I believe that they're going to start with the left hand as a test, so they can make sure that people out there get conditioned. And then, if somebody like me says, listen, this microchip is the mark, this is the mark of the beast, people will say, well, the Bible says right hand, so what, is the Bible wrong, or, are you wrong? Because they're getting it in their left. And then eventually they'll condition people into getting it in their right hand, because they'll say, well, if you're a lefty, you're righty, or whatever. And eventually it'll be in the right. But I just want to point that out, because I'm seeing with, the video I did on the guy who was just willingly accepting of the mark of the beast, was excited about it because he wanted to go, buy a sub at a restaurant with his wrist without a wallet, because I guess apparently it's too hard to carry a wallet around these days, because that's just how ridiculous these millennials are becoming. But he also got it in his left hand. This guy appears to have it in his left. But like I said, the big fear here is the fact that you're going to have the military pushing this, the military accepting it. And that's a very dangerous thought, knowing that, what they're going to be able to do with this microchip. We don't even know what they'll be able to control. If they'll be able to control the mind, what other things through the bloodstream they'll be able to shoot in there and do to you. But the fact that it's the military that's going to begin this testing, you gotta, one has to believe that it'll start with the Navy, it'll spread to the Army, it'll spread to the Marines, and, anybody who's military personnel will have this. They'll sell it on tracking. They'll sell it by saying, listen, if we lose our brothers and sisters in war all the time, people go missing, like now we'll be able to track them if we need to fly in and pick them up and save them. All the military people will probably fall for it, because they'll say, yeah, it sounds safe. Plus, if I get blown up or something, they'll have some excuse where, well, we'll be able to track you and know that identify your body, all that kind of stuff. Plus, you don't have to have a wallet. Plus, you can't have your identity stolen, blah, blah, blah. And people will, of course, go along with it, especially military personnel. And like I said, the scary thing about it is thinking about martial law and what they have planned to come, knowing that, most of us have been aware that it's coming soon. And a lot of people who are skeptical of it have been saying, well, I don't think our military brothers and sisters will turn on us and go along with it. We think that they'll go against the government. Well, if they're microchipped and they're using the microchip to control them in some, sense of transhumanism, as this guy's talking about, mixing human and machine, because that's exactly what Mr. Zoltan here is talking about. He's saying, he's excited about, his whole life is devoted to the merger of humans and machines. Okay, so it's more than just taking of the chip and the mark of the beast. It's also about, this transhumanism thing that these people have been pushing. So it's just something that everybody has to keep their eye on. It's pretty frightening to think about, knowing that, our brothers and sisters are not only going to get tricked into doing it, they're going to willingly do it after a while, because they're going to see it's safe. They're going to see it's not dangerous, because they're going to have the Kardashians and these people pushing it and making it look like, it's safe. I mean, another one of these articles talks about the microchip, and it says, oh, look, it's already fitted for pets. Some humans are getting it, but it's safe. One guy says, as a father of 2 and a 5-year-old, I'm a big believer in the future that all children will get chipped, perhaps like all children get vaccines in the U.S. I mean, that's what this guy, Istvan says. This guy's very, very dangerous. Talking about this stuff and being, pushing it, being like this political figure he's supposed to be, and being out there telling people about it. He says, this technology's been used in various ways with animals for over a decade. So telling people it's safe, it's crazy to me that we don't develop it and use it for ourselves, for humans, especially in our children. I'm looking into getting my children chipped after this alligator incident. And because it's a controversial presidential candidate, I have security issues myself to worry about. So they're going to use fear and all these other things to push the accepting of this mark of the beast. But this video is to tell you, they're already looking into ways, to get this into the military so that our armed forces will have the microchip. And that is something that it should be noted as extremely dangerous for all of us as civilians. We don't know the capability. Some people think it's just going to be a chip where, you could buy and sell with it like the Bible says in the book of Revelation. But, you have this guy here talking about the mixture and the merger of human beings and machines. And that is something that the elitists have been pushing. They show it to us in these Intel commercials where they talk about, humans and computers becoming one and thinking that way and being that way, and how we should all want that because we should want to be smarter and be able to learn more and do more and reach new heights. They push this propaganda and everybody falls for it. So this microchipping, again, as it gets nearer and nearer to being a reality. I mean, the technology, they've had it for a while, but they haven't had a society so stupid as we have now, who will, turn on Christians and say, we're just crazy. We're listening to some book, and like I said, they'll use things like the left hand to deceive people early on into thinking, well, the Bible says right, and why are they getting it in their left? So it's not the mark of the beast. So Christians will get it. Trust me, they're going to scare people into getting it. Then they're going to force people into getting it because there won't be cash. We've already seen the commercials with PayPal promoting this cashless world. If you, follow Bloomberg TV and those channels, all they're doing is talking about a cashless society, an electronic society, how we need to get rid of cash. Obama's been on record saying we need to get rid of cash and we need a cashless society. So it's coming and it's going to be forced, but it's going to start like this with the military and these people getting it. They're going to show how it's so great. The military people pretty much will be like, rats in a lab because they'll do the experimenting on them. They'll see, how they can tweak it a little bit differently. But, they're likely to be able to control them in other ways. And then you really have to fear for this martial law that is to come. Having our military chipped is very, very, very dangerous, in my opinion. Of course, I believe fully in Jesus Christ, so I have no fears here on earth. No problem being a martyr for him. But it's definitely something that we all need to think about and look at and pay attention to, because all this stuff is happening so fast right in front of us. This microchip is coming quick, 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 quick. It's been teasing to it. It's been talking about it. That's what we've heard. And now we're seeing more and more people, testing it out. And when you see it tested out in your military and then you start seeing celebrities get it, that's when you start to be fearful, because you're going to hear more and more about it. People are going to be on TV saying, oh, why doesn't everybody have the microchip? They'll have military men, and then, they don't want you questioning the military guys. The president, of course, will push it. Then you'll get celebrities pushing it, saying how cool and safe it is and how you don't have to worry about identity theft. You don't have to worry about a wallet. You don't have to worry about cash. You don't have to worry about anybody stealing ever again. And it's coming. It's coming real fast. So this is the Navy now looking into getting this done soon, looking into, laws that they can pass to make sure it's regulated within the Navy. It'll spread like wildfire inside of our military and eventually inside of the United States and around the world. So be prepared, be warned. I just want to do a video on this to let you know this is going on, and it's coming quick. So stay strong in faith. Jesus Christ is the truth, the way, and the life, and that's all that matters. But we have to be aware of these things and warn our brothers and sisters to not fall for this deception. Thank you guys for listening to today's show. God bless you all. May peace be with you.